Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make these really cute scarecrows. They fit in the palm of your hand and they're so soft and squishy. You can choose whatever fabric fits your decor. So let's get to the sewing tutorial. Cut an 11-inch circle out of fabric that you want to use as the body. I happen to have a dinner plate that was this size. So now you are going to baste around the outer edge of that piece of fabric. Use really long running straight stitches and do it at least half an inch, if not more, from the edge. Now slightly gather those stitches together by pulling on them and you're going to be creating a pouch. Fill that pouch with polyfill or stuffing of some sort. Once it is stuffed enough, pull the threads tightly and you're going to keep pulling and pulling until you can get that top closed and then knot it off and cut off the ends. And now you're going to repeat the same process with a muslin fabric or a flesh colored fabric for the face. I used a 7.5-inch circle for this. Next, you're going to cut a 2-inch by 7-inch rectangle of fabric that you used for the body. Fold those in on the sides by a third and then a third again, and then use some thread to make knots at either end, but leave about a half an inch open on either side. And now you're going to be cutting small pieces of twine or yarn or raffia. They're about 1.5 to 2 inches long. Fold them in half, put a little hot glue on the ends, and then just stuff as many as you want into the ends of those arms to become the scarecrow hands. And you can rough up the edges if you'd like. Now it is time to glue down the arms onto the body. So just be sure to put the cut edges facing down and to center those arms in the middle and attach it with hot glue. Now you're going to hot glue the head to the body on top of the arms and put it on the base of the head, and then just be sure to hold it there just to make sure that it is secure. After it is secured, now I'm going to add some hair, again cutting the same raffia or twine or yarn, folding it in half and then hot gluing the ends to the top of the head, and just do this in a random fashion. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. So I use about a 5.5 by 5.5 piece of burlap that I covered to make the hat. This is an open weave burlap ribbon, so I think your burlap is probably going to be a lot more closer in weave and probably look better, but just hot glue that on top of the head on the very top first, and then go back through and hot glue on the back of the head to secure it and kind of make it lay down more flat. Once it is secured and glued down, you're going to take the scissors and go through and just trim off any of the excess in order to make it look more like a scarecrow hat. And then at this point, you can go in and trim off the hair, and you can fluff it out a little bit to make it a little bit softer looking if you like. If you got a bit of fuzz, use some tape to get that off of the face. I used a normal Sharpie marker, but I did test it on the same type of muslin fabric to make sure that it didn't run. And then I used some Scarecrow faces templates that I found on the internet and just hand drew these faces. Honestly, this face looks a little scary to me compared to another one that I did, but you know, I tried. But it is super easy. Just go slow. And if there are any fibers from the raffia, just be sure to take them off. And you can see that this is one face. I do like this face a little bit better, quite honestly. But, you know, this is an option for the other scarecrow. Now we're going to add some embellishments. I had a burlap pre-made flower that I added to one, and then to this girl I added some faux leaves and hot glued those down and then topped them off with a button. If you'd like written instructions, I'll put a link to this tutorial in the description below. I hope you love these scarecrows and happy sewing.